Are we doing a demo?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, then I
So I'm going to remove my mask because I am going to be doing a demo today. Now we are going to start the cookie process. So the cookie process uses a method called the creaming method, and that is where we actually cream sugar and butter together to make our dough. So what you're going to be using for this is your electric mixer and several ingredients. And the way we're going to do it is first we're going to learn how to make cookies, and then each group is going to be making cookies with a special variety to it. So you may have an extra egg, you might have a different flour or more or less of certain ingredients so that we can all sit down and test like 6 different kinds of cookies and evaluate them based on function of ingredients. So the first step is to preheat your oven to 375 degrees. And when you do this, make sure you don't accidentally turn your oven off. A lot of times when people put their food into the oven and set the timer, they turn their oven off and then the food never cooks. This usually always happens in Foods 1, so just be aware that your oven is always turned on. Step 2, I'm going to use a small bowl to mix together my dry ingredients first. And my dry ingredients are going to be, we're actually cutting this recipe in half, 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons. And we all know that flour provides the structure for our baked goods. Now you can, hi.
Hi, Miss, don't you send the spoon?
Oh, just set it there on the counter, thank you. So in our baking class, I actually make the kids weigh the dry ingredients out instead of scooping it. But for Foods 1 purposes, I think, oh shoot, we will be okay with this.
Why'd your oven do that?
Because I have brownies I need to take out. I've got a lot going on today. Excuse me.
Yes.
Just a moment. So 1 cup, and remember, level it off, nice, light and fluffy when you scoop it in. Does it seem extra steamy in here today? Yeah, right there. You guys got a good spot, don't you? Who's coming to conferences tonight? Thank you. Okay, 1 cup plus 1 tablespoon plus 2 tablespoons. All right?
I thought conferences were in February.
No, it's today. Oops. Baking soda. What's my baking soda gonna do? This is the orange box. Just gonna drill this into you guys. What does the leavening agent do? The chemical leavener?
Makes it
It's gonna
rise.
help it rise. So half of a teaspoon of soda. I'm also gonna need half of a teaspoon of salt. And what is the salt gonna do?
Flavor.
Correct. Salt is in the duck jar.
In the what jar?
The duck jar. There's little ducks on the side of the salt container.
Is that why you call it the duck jar?
I do. Yep. So I'm gonna just combine this in a bowl and set it aside. So my dry ingredients are mixed. Now I'm gonna use my paddle attachment for my stand mixer,
I love stand mixers.
which looks like this. This is your paddle attachment.
Does every kitchen have one of these?
They do.
Lucky.
So every kitchen gets to put that on there. Then we are going to beat our butter, sugar, brown sugar, and vanilla in this until it's creamed. So for our butter, we need 1 stick of butter, softened. So hopefully I remember to
Put it
set
in the
this out a little
microwave.
early for you guys. So 1 cup of butter is equal to how much?
8 tablespoons.
8 tablespoons, which is equal to how many cups?
1/2.
1/2 cup, correct.
Well, we can eat this.
Well, I don't think I'll be able to, we're on a shortened schedule, so I feel like I'm kind of in a race. Now I need 6 tablespoons of granulated sugar. Do I really need to go through and do that 6 times with my tablespoon? What else can I do?
1/3 twice.
How many tablespoons are in 1/4 of a cup? 4. There's 4 tablespoons in 1/4 of a cup. So I'm gonna do 1/4 of a cup plus 2 tablespoons of white granulated sugar. And what the white granulated sugar is going to do is it's going to add flavor as well as a caramelization. So 1 stick of butter for my fat and tenderness, 1/4 plus 2 tablespoons of white sugar. Also, it's going to add sweetness with a little bit of crisp to it. However, I'm going to sabotage that by adding 6 tablespoons of packed brown sugar. Brown sugar has added molasses in it, which is like a syrup, which has moisture, so it's going to make it more softer and chewier. So ultimately, you guys can control what kind of cookie you get because your white sugar and your brown sugar can be changed, and they can each be adjusted as long as you have the regular total amount. You can adjust the quantity of each of those, depending on what you prefer. Who likes a good crisp cookie?
Me.
Anyone else like crisp? Let me guess, you guys all like soft and chewy.
Yes.
So then, when you're baking cookies, you would want to add more brown sugar than white sugar. I need to add more bread to my brown sugar.
You need to add more bread.
Well, if you put some bread in there, it keeps it soft when it's in a big.
Is it hard right now or something? Sounds really hard.
Yeah, it's okay. Make sure it's packed as good as you can. And vanilla. 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. What is vanilla gonna do? Flavor. Do you guys think there's a lot of calories in vanilla?
No.
Is it pretty sugary, sweet?
No.
No, it tastes awful.
Yeah, it's basically water with propylene glycol, which is an alcohol flavor, but it's not alcoholic. Caramel color, artificial flavors, pure vanilla extract. So a lot of people think there's sugar and calories in cinnamon and vanilla. It's not. It's a natural extract.
I like the smell of vanilla.
Yeah, but have you ever tasted it plain? Tastes horrible. So
I've tasted cinnamon.
I'm going to. I would not be good at being blind broken like you. I can't find the plug-in for this cord.
Do you need help?
Oh. So you're gonna cream this until. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to turn it on really fast because everything will go flying. Once your butter is broke down and starting to kind of mix in with the sugars, then you are welcome to speed it up a little bit. Does it look creamed to you yet? Can you guys see? Does it look creamed? No, it's still too chunky. You want it creamed, like spreadable almost. So I'm going to get ready to add an egg. So I am going to crack this into a separate container just to make sure there's not like a blood spot or I don't get a bunch of shells or something in it.
What do you mean a blood spot?
Well, sometimes eggs, and it's harmless, but sometimes eggs can have like a blood spot in it. Some people wouldn't want that. It's just a broken like membrane or something when the egg was formed. Okay, does this look for creamed?
No. Whoa!
Whoa! That coffee is cream. When you make cookies, do not skip this step. Okay? Also, do not add all of your ingredients at once without doing this step. Your cookies will not turn out right.
They'll turn out very wrong.
You need to have this cream to mixture first. Now we're gonna add our egg and let that go together.
That would be very
This is
good.
also going to allow some more tenderness because there's extra moisture too. It's gonna make it a little bit softer. In fact, some people when they make cookies, they always throw in an extra egg just to make it a little softer, especially with peanut butter cookies. Now once that egg is combined, we're gonna add in our dry mixture that we had already made. So I'm gonna turn that off.
That makes a funny noise when it shuts off.
Set motor. Okay, go ahead and start that up.
That motor sounds like it's going bad. Doesn't it?
Yeah, they're pretty old, I suppose. Okay, now I'm gonna get some baking pans ready. I'm just gonna take these. need a bigger kitchen.
You need a bigger what? A bigger demo
I
kitchen?
need a bigger kitchen. All right, parchment is in the parchment paper cabinet, if you remember.
Remember this unit? Remember the
Okay.
unit?
Almost blended. Okay, so this is my chocolate chip cookie dough batter. I want to add a cup of chocolate chips to this at this point. Now when you're making your own, you can add whatever you want. You could add chocolate, peanut butter, you could add, you could add marshmallows, you could add nuts, whatever you like to add when you make these.
Whenever somebody makes chocolate chip cookie dough, I have a habit to eat it. What do you think of that, Mrs. Boyd?
What's that?
When everybody makes chocolate chip cookies, I have a tendency to stand there and eat the chocolate chip cookie dough.
Yeah, it's tempting, isn't it?
I know.
What could happen if you eat a lot of chocolate chip cookie dough?
Salmonella.
You could get salmonella. Do I know anybody who's gotten salmonella from raw cookie dough?
What kind of noise is that?
All right, so this is my cookie dough batter. I do not need to spray my pan because there's enough fat in my batter that it should not have a problem with sticking to my parchment. So what I do, at home I have a scoop, but not everybody has a scoop. So we're just gonna take 2 spoons, pull that off of that, save the beater for the kids.
What kids?
Oh, if we had kids floating around, I'd let them lick the beaters. Now the key is to make sure that your dough balls are uniform. Because if one is too small and one is too big and you all have them on the same pan, they're not gonna cook evenly. So you'll get a burnt one and then you'll kind of get a raw one. So just keep them all the same size. You try to always fit 12 to a pan. So 3 across, 4 down. So you get a dozen.
Do you have an early out tomorrow?
No, today and Thursday are early outs.
Okay.
So you guys will have plenty of time to get your dough made. We might wait and bake them on Wednesday. We'll see.
Wednesday's a fun day, isn't it?
I don't know. Do you think it's a fun day?
Nah, it depends on how you look at it.
I mean, it's garbage day.
What?
That's when our garbage man comes, is on Wednesdays.
That doesn't sound very fun.
Oh, it's fun to get the trash out.
Carrot and chocolate chip cookies.
It's fun to get. When
Hey,
can I
Ross,
say?
Ross, focus, focus. All right, so my oven is preheated. Do not put it in the oven unless your oven is preheated. And we're gonna bake these for 9 to 10 minutes. So always start with your minimum amount of time and then you can check it and add more minutes if you need to. So,
This oven's pretty good.
what time does this bell ring? 57? That was like record time. Let me try.
57. Oh, I won't get to eat it.
It ends right now.
What?
I won't get to eat one. And
All right, so let's go ahead and fill up this second pan.
I'm like mega hungry too.
Now, one thing that a lot of people do is as soon as the cookies come out of the oven, they want to remove them onto a cooling rack or think that they are done. You have to let your cookies set at least 5 minutes on the pan to finish the cooking process before you try to remove them. Otherwise, you're gonna have a mess, especially when you're trying to get a softer cookie. Rubber scraper.
Hi. happen to not like softer cookies.
You don't like softer cookies?
I like hard cookies.
Yeah, crunchy.
Mm-hmm.
So what's everyone got going on this afternoon?
I'm gonna go sling some mud.
Sling some mud.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go deal with
It's muddy.
technology with
No, not
Grandpa.
like that. I'm talking about the white mud.
Oh, sling some. I got it. I got it.
My weekend was crazy.
Brogan, what was so crazy about your weekend?
Everything.
Oh man, like what?
You missed it. My voice came back, thank God, but I lost it on Saturday a little bit.
Glad it's back.
Yeah. You should have heard me do the 5 a.m. thing.
Really?
I actually have a recording of myself trying to do it. Do you want me to show it to you?
Sure. Why not? You know what? I need to make sure we have enough chocolate chips for tomorrow too. Here, we've got. Oh yeah, this should be good. Oh, let me turn off this recording.
Yeah, 'cause we,